Hey, what's going on, my friends? It's Dave Sharp. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. I don't know why I'm leaning into the computer as if it's going to be louder if I do that or not. But anyways, I'm leaning, my friends, and I am thrilled and excited. It's Mastermind Week, and we are going to be in Orlando, Florida here in about 48 hours. We actually have some people who are already there from the team who are getting ready for, these amazing mastermind. And we have both a client and student mastermind, and then we have a team mastermind for all of our legendary team that's happening back to back. It's just going to be an incredible week. We, are so excited to see those of you who are going to be there. And of course, if you can't make it, no problem. We'd love to see you at one in the future, and you can get with your business plan advisor. You can email Dave at Legendary Marketer. You can email Joanne at Legendary Marketer. I mean, you can email customer support, whatever you got to do, get the information and make sure that you understand fully what is happening and going on there and what you're potentially missing out on and where it is and all the things. This morning, we have an amazing guest who I'm so thrilled and excited to talk to. She's got a unique story. Very interesting, and she is starting and really building an amazing digital marketing business. Julie is a dynamic, educated, and interesting person, talented in many ways, and she is going to be joining us here in just a moment. Remember that all of our guests on Wake Up Legendary are not paid actors. They're not gurus or goblins. They're not, they're regular people who have gone through our curriculum. In most cases, this is the very first time that I've ever talked to them right here on this show. I have not, talked to them behind the scenes, backstage, any phone calls, private one-on-one Zooms or anything like that. So you're hearing their experience about our company going through our curriculum, building their business right here for the first time, right along with me. And so you get to learn, we get to learn, I get to learn and listen and share. And please be active in the comments as well, giving us feedback, telling us what's coming up for you, encouraging us, encouraging each other. We love to see it. We welcome everything and all the love and all the vibes and all the things. With that being said, Julie, welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Thank you for confirming I'm not a goblin.
Not a goblin, not a goblin. And now that I see your face and hear your voice, I can confirm even further that you're not a goblin.
And fact check is good. Thumbs up.
Yes, all the things I said are accurate.
Okay. We're meeting for the first time.
Yeah, meeting for the very first time. And so talk to us and tell us how in the heck did you find us? I mean, what were you looking for Christmas sakes? How did you find this community of weirdos here called Legendary Marketer and all of us inside of it? And do you believe that you have found what it is you were looking for or even didn't know that you were looking for?
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to give you some insight on that. So I wouldn't say I was looking for Legendary. Legendary found me, literally. So I would say my story is a little more unconventional. When you talk to a lot of people who come on here, they say they were scrolling through TikTok and they came across a stay-at-home mom, a stay-at-home dad, and they were talking about the course. I was actually on YouTube and I was looking at print on demand, and I wanted another side hustle next to my side hustle because I already published books on KDP Amazon. So I was having some downtime, so I wanted to try something else. And then I came across this gentleman who's talking about affiliate marketing, and I was like, ooh, tell me more. So, and then he started talking about the course, and I was only watching his videos for a few days, and he really instantly built like, know, and trust with me, like super quick. So kudos to him. I honestly don't even remember his name, but shout out to him. And then I opted into the course like right away. And the challenge video was very compelling, and I just wanted to learn more.
Cool. Well, that's great to hear about the marketing that actually attracted you and converted you. I love to hear that because we can oftentimes learn a lot about what's actually working and be reminded that all of the platforms actually work. All of the platforms actually Hey, we've got Joanne in the house. Joanne is down here. We've got Julie. Joanne, come say hi real quick.
Hey guys.
Hi, Joanne. Nice
Yeah.
to meet you. I didn't know who I was gonna get.
Well, we are getting ready for the mastermind event. We've got Julie out there. There's, as I said, we're kind of spread out here around Florida right now.
Yay,
Between
that's so
St.
fun.
Petersburg and Orlando, and just getting ready and kind of preparing to sort of you know take over O Town. And where are you calling in from? What state? And
Canada.
Canada.
So shout out to my Canadians.
Yes.
I see a lot of you opting into affiliate marketing and digital marketing. I know everything kind of starts in the US and then it kind of trickles out to Canada. So I've been seeing a lot more Canadians, and I know a lot of Canadians are on or in this program, and I see it a lot on the Facebook group. So yay, shout out to my Canadians.
So tell us more of your story. I mean, you told us lots of details and lots of interesting stuff on your questionnaire that when we invite somebody on, we ask them to share a little bit about their story and kind of what they've done. Tell us a little bit about, who you are and what you have done. I'm even interested in the fact that you've written books. I mean, it's cool. And I want to know the difference between what you see in affiliate marketing and what you see in the other things that you're doing. But you also have a lot of experience in previous careers, also with education. I'm just wondering, with everything that you've done, and say as much or little as you want, ultimately take us and bring us to this point of why you're ultimately now doing this.
Right, absolutely. Love to give you more insight on that. So I've done a lot of things, tried a lot of things. I went to school. I got 2 college diplomas because I did what society told you to do, which that failed me. I was working at a chiropractic office, a 9 to 5. It was actually my co-op for school. And then they hired me on. And then I was doing bottle service on weekends in Toronto. So I was working during the week, hustling on weekends. And I was working harder and not smarter. So I made better money doing bottle service than I was working during the week. And I was working all those hours, and I was only working a few hours on the weekends. So with the money that I got via bottle service, I actually invested in a supplement store because I knew that I didn't want to be working a 9 to 5. I didn't want to be doing the 40 for my whole life. There was just something in me that it just didn't sit right with me. I didn't know what it was. I just felt like I was different. And this is why I love this community, because I really feel like I found my people, and I am so passionate. So I feel like I'm not alone anymore, and it makes me feel very good, like I found my place. And so with that being said, I opened a supplement store while I was still working on the weekends, and then COVID hit, which literally crushed my dreams. I only had the supplement store for a few years. And then I was like, you know what? I really need to pivot to the online space. I really don't want to be affected by the economy. If this happens again, I wanted to be smart. So I went into the online space. And before I got the supplement store, I was actually into Amazon FBA. So I actually purchased a course for that. And I really love the business model, but I felt like there was way too many moving parts, with having inventory and whatnot. And when I ended up selling the supplement store, I was looking to get back into FBA. And again, I was on YouTube, and I came across Amazon KDP. Those little ads when you're watching a video, they pop up and there's like a Bugatti in the background. They have a mansion, and they're like, Amazon FBA is dead. Amazon KDP is the new thing. And I'm like, okay. And I was, again, intrigued. So I ended up purchasing a course, and they taught me how to find a gap in the market, to find books that are popular on Amazon and that people are searching for, but that have low competition. And then you basically hire a ghostwriter, and they help you write your books. So it's not you solely writing books. You have help on the side, and I've always loved English. So I loved the business model of not having to have inventory. So everything is print on demand. So somebody purchases your book, Amazon prints it from the warehouse and then ships it. And the cool thing about that is there's a few different income streams. So there's ebook, the print on demand, like the print copy, and then audio books. So which goes hand in hand with digital marketing because it's digital products. And then so in my downtime when I was writing these books, I was waiting on my ghostwriter, so I had some time in between, and that's when I was looking into print on demand and came across affiliate marketing. But with that whole, little snippets along my journey, there was things in between that I also did. I got my personal training certification. I modeled. I don't know if I can say it, but I'm gonna say I modeled for Playboy. I got the opportunity to go to the Playboy Mansion. I was a painted girl at one of their parties, and it was a dream come true. I really, really manifested that into my reality because I always loved watching the reality show, The Girls Next Door. And I was like, oh, I remember sitting there in my room and I'm like, oh, it would be so cool to go to the mansion one day, and experience this. And it's not like what everyone thinks. There's a lot of celebrities and everything. It was a lot of fun. And then I went right to the mansion, and then literally when the party ended, I went right to the airport and then just like red-eye flight home. It was a crazy, wild, great experience. And what else did I do? I had a YouTube channel. I was looking into opening a ATM business. Wow. So I don't know if you know that business model where you purchase ATMs and then you go into convenience stores and then you have your own ATM. And then every time somebody takes out money from your ATM, you get that service fee. So
let's hone in a little bit on the selling of information and how you have evolved that. And quite frankly, how happy I am that you didn't start print on demand because, well, and not that it's you couldn't have been successful at anything. But you're already in the business of selling information. You've started that. You've written some books, and now you're taking things to another level by actually creating or learning how to monetize an information business with our core 4 business models that we teach here, which is coaching, courses, events, and or being an affiliate for a company who sells information. And the reason why selling information is so beautiful, people, as you may or may not know, is because there's such high profit margins if you're selling courses, coaching, and events versus physical products where you're going to have a lot of overhead, you're going to have to ship them, manufacture them, all those things. Now, the problem with writing books is that there's not very high profit margins with writing a book, right? A book is a great loss leader, as we call it. It's a great way to get people into your ecosystem. And my favorite way to sell books is right on, either give the book away right in your funnel to opt into your funnel as a lead magnet, or to sell the book as a front end introductory book. Some of you can see, if you're our affiliates, you can see us selling an affiliate guide for $1.99, which gets people buying something. And then you can sell them upsells. In most funnel builders, you can create one-click upsells. And so as you were going through our challenge and you were starting to kind of learn what I'm explaining right now, what in particular stood out to you that was attractive, that made you say, hey, yeah, this makes sense to me, and I want to pursue this over the other things that I could possibly add to my business portfolio as an additional side hustle? What were the light bulb moments that you had?
Yes, I can think of one instantly because it's the biggest thing. It was the high ticket products. So I knew about influencing and affiliate marketing where you buy a t-shirt and you could post photos on your Instagram and be like, hey, I got this t-shirt from such and such, Fashion Nova, Shein, whichever, go buy it. But you're only making a few dollars on the t-shirt. You need hundreds and hundreds of sales and, a lot of followers for that. So what really got me was the high ticket products. That was the game changer for me. I was like mind blown. I'm like, I'm all in. So that's what intrigued me.
Yeah. And what we realize is that instead of selling, instead of promoting, um, something low ticket, instead of selling something low ticket, we can sell one of whatever our course is or whatever course we're promoting, and we can make as much as, in some cases, 20, 50, or 100 or more sales of that lower ticket thing. The other thing that I've realized over my career is that it's just as easy to sell something for a few thousand as it is to sell something for a few hundred, and sometimes even for $10 or $20. Why? Because somebody still has to make a decision. Somebody still has to make a decision. And oftentimes people who are buying something for a couple of dollars are more excuse makers, tire kickers than serious people who are buying things for a couple of $1,000s. And the reason why it's worth waiting in selling even less of those high ticket products is because you're making so much more from every sale. It equals out to be so much more than oftentimes dozens or even dozens of those lower ticket sales. And so, had you done any video marketing before this? And what has it been like for you to start marketing, getting on video, putting yourself out there in sort of filming, creating reels? And talk about the first time I think you had a video go viral. And I think that really, I would assume, showed you the power of, and the potential of simple marketing on social media in driving people into a sales funnel. So talk about what it's been like for you to get on video. What have you had to overcome mentally? And then what has been your big confidence boosters?
Right. I feel like I'm only human, so I have had limiting beliefs just like every other person. I don't think everyone just wakes up and, is ready to put themselves out there and has all the confidence. Not everyone is like Brad Pitt, where, but anyways, for me, I really had to learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I think that's the main thing. I really had to work through my limiting beliefs, which is like me feeling that I'm unworthy, I'm undeserving, and I'm not just surface level. This really stems deep, which like goes into really healing inner child, doing shadow work and things like that. I love the mindset movement where we're talking about it's all mindset, but I really feel like it's lifestyle as well too, like taking care of yourself, going to the gym, feeling good, so then you're there mentally as well to be as creative as you can be. I actually made a story about that a few weeks ago, so and I'm really passionate about that, and I really stand by that. I hadn't done any marketing before, but I don't know if I mentioned, but I did have a YouTube channel, and I was thinking, how am I going to get paid for this? And I was trying to get monetized, but I just was not getting the subscribers, and I just feel like I was so passionate about it. I have like ADD where I just like focus and hone in on something, but then it was taking up way too much of my time, just like trying to go dive into SEO and like all the things, and like editing took me forever. So I was like, nah, I don't think this is for me. But I did think, maybe I could say, oh, this is where I got my t-shirt sort of thing to make money. But that never really panned out. I did it for about 6 months or so, trying to make videos, post them every day. But yeah, what was the other part of your question? I feel like I dived really deep into that.
Well, I was just wondering what it was like for you to go start creating videos. Of course, you talked about your limiting beliefs, but also what were your confidence boosters?
Yeah, my confidence booster is a big one. I listen to a lot of self-help podcasts. So one of the main one is, and I feel like this can help a lot of people, where there is a version of you outside of the 3D in 5D reality that you already have everything you could ever want. You need to step into that version of yourself every single day. Show up on camera like you've already made $20,000 this month. Just like step into your power. Like I have a Tony Robbins book right here. It's on the floor. I was reading it, waiting for you. It's called Awaken the Giant Within. And it's true. We all have the power within us. You just have to pull it out of you, for lack of better words. And every single day that I wake up, I have a morning routine, I have a night routine. So when I wake up in the morning, if I'm not feeling it, I'm like instantly, I'm like, you got to snap out of it, and I just have to do things every single day to make me feel good. Like people who watch my stories, they see my morning routine where I have my coffee and then I come upstairs, I have my mat and I foam roll, I stretch, I journal, I write things down that I'm grateful for. And if you read any books from millionaires, they all have morning routines, and that's what makes them successful. So that's my answer to that.
Yeah. So and that's beautiful. And finding your own morning routine, I think, is something that we all have to find what is unique and works and fits for us. I think what is missing from a lot of people's morning routine is realizing that, the guy or the gal who's talking about their morning routine once they've already gotten rich is not always the morning routine that they use to get rich, right? You hear the guy, and I was listening to one the other day on the internet. The guy was talking about getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, doing this for a half hour, doing that for a half hour, doing this with his wife, doing this doing that, and then finally at 9 o'clock he was starting his day, and it was like, well, did you really do that at the beginning of your grind? I mean, was that, or is that just what you're doing now that you've gotten rich? And it's okay for your morning routine to be at the very beginning somewhat obsessive compulsive. There's this big vibe and theme right now about not picking up your phone when you first wake up. And it's like, well, if that's the only time that you have to pick up your phone before you have to take a couple of hours to get your kids ready and get them off to school and maybe go to your job or whatever, then maybe you have to pick up your phone when you wake up. And the most important thing is to not feel shame and guilt about what we're doing, right? To actually embrace what we want to do and what we need to do and not feel bad about it. Or as I saw a comment that came in just a few minutes ago, Jessica, I've seen you on the show a couple of times and I wanted to shout you out. You say, I feel like I'm not doing this right, like I'm missing something key. Well, that's what society has trained you to think and feel, like you're missing something, like you're not enough. And so you have this default thought that anytime you're going through the difficult part of a new journey, you start to think I feel like I'm missing something, like I'm not enough. And the truth is that you're enough. You're not missing anything. And you're going through the beginning stage of your success journey, and it's hard, and you're not getting instant results, and you're new, and you're like a baby who's trying to learn how to walk, and it's ugly and it feels painful. And the most important thing is to not get down on yourself and shame yourself and guilt yourself and and say, both internally but also externally, say things like, I'm not enough, or I feel like I'm not getting this. Instead, what I invite everybody to do, and you had alluded to this a second ago, Julie, with the manifesting the Playboy Mansion experience and probably many other things, including what you're doing now. We really have to speak what we want into existence. That is what manifesting means. Manifesting is not, I have a Lamborghini in my driveway. I have a Lamborghini in my driveway. That's not what we're talking about here. No matter how many times you say I have a Lamborghini in my driveway and do nothing, it's not going to show up in your driveway. However, in this process, it's a wonderful example. If you say to yourself and declare out loud, I'm new, I'm growing, I got this, I can do hard things, I'm persevering through the new stages of my business to be successful one day. It's such a different and more powerful message that, especially if we say it out loud or write it down, we will eventually begin to believe it. And Julie, I think that's what you were saying a moment ago, where you were talking about actually showing up and acting as if you were already making $20,000 a month. What is
Yes.
for you, as I'm talking a little bit about this, and confirm for me and validate that that is what you meant with the manifesting and also with the acting as if you're making 20,000 a month. And how are you, give us more specifics about how you are encouraging yourself. You said you make gratitude list. I mean, these are the actual actions it sounds like you're taking to overcome your limiting beliefs, which you have vulnerably and honestly admitted that you have, just like all of us humans have. What's coming up for you as I'm talking about this, and also reached out to Jessica there and shared her comment?
Yes, I love this conversation so much. And I'm actually really hoping, like, I manifested that this interview would go in this direction because I'm just so passionate about it. And I just really wanted to provide value to people. So even before this interview, I literally talked to myself in the mirror. I said, "You got this. You are valuable. You are worthy." And I'm repeating that because my previous inner dialogue was me feeling that I was unworthy, that I was unloved, that I'm abandoned, you know? And it's about reprogramming your subconscious. It goes a lot deeper than just thinking positive. Like, as you're saying, like what you're saying, I don't have a hat to slam, but I would if I had one. It's about not just thinking those positive thoughts, it's about actually really honing in and feeling it. Like, put your hands over your heart, you know, and really say it and mean it. And this is how I overcame my limiting beliefs. And I'm telling you, this is what millionaires talk about. And as soon as I started doing this and I started showing up and telling myself that I'm worthy and I'm deserving, that is when everything shifted for me. And I did a lot of inner work on myself. And your business is capped at only where your mindset is. If you want to go beyond, you know, a certain income, you got to work on your mindset. You start with affirmations, you know, and don't feel silly about it. You know, maybe start listening to them and then maybe start saying them, you know, as you feel comfortable. But do all the things throughout the day to make you feel good. And I know people are busy and people have kids. You know, take some time for yourself each day, even if it's 10 minutes that you have. Stretch, you know, put on a meditation, get some clarity. Because as you quiet your mind, you'll be guided by your spirit guides, Gaia, Source, you know, universe, God, whoever you relate to. There, you're going to be guided into the path that you are meant to be on. And it was crazy. Sorry, go ahead. I don't want to ramble.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I love listening to it, and I love hearing your experience. And I want to remind everybody that if that feels like it's, you know, too much right now, or you sit down to try to meditate and you feel like you can't quiet your mind, the most important place to start is by just stop putting yourself down. That's the most important place to start. And to not accept anyone else in your life putting you down either. Now, that can sometimes mean that you have to retrain friends and family on how to treat you, because in some ways we have accepted and even trained people how to treat us by talking badly and down about ourselves in front of people. And then what they do is they talk to us the way that we talk to and about ourselves. And so what does that mean? It could mean this, it could mean this, it could be something as simple as when somebody says thank you to you, that was really helpful, you say, "Oh, it was nothing. Anybody could have done that." So now that person, you've told that person, you don't need to thank me. You don't need to value me. Right? We're training people how to treat us. The other examples, and these are simple, they happen every day, are just the way in which we talk about ourselves to people around us. We train them how to support us. Well, I feel like I can't do this. And I mean, look, it's nobody else's job to lift you up. It's really not. I mean, I know that we think that that's our spouse's job, but it's actually really not. It's our job as adults to be responsible for supporting ourselves in training, in teaching people how to support us, in telling people what our needs are, not expecting them to be mind readers. That's a recipe for disaster. That's a recipe for feeling unheard, unsupported, unwanted. We have to tell people, look, I'm starting a business, particularly friends and family. I'm starting something new. It's going to be difficult right now. Here's how you can support me. Here's what I need from you. We have to start speaking up and not only stop putting ourselves down, not only when we're alone, but also around other people. Because when we put ourselves down in front of other people, it gives them permission to do the same thing. It does, friends. I'm serious. We have to stop this. We have to. And it leads to just a miserable life because we're putting ourselves down and now we're training other people that it's okay to put me down. And in this journey of life and entrepreneurship, that's not okay. You need more. You need to know what your needs are. And you need to learn how to communicate them to people. And we need to learn how to train people to support us, to advocate for us, to validate us. But we can't expect them to do it for us if we're not doing it ourselves, friends. We have to do it ourselves. And so this starts with just simple in this community. You know, we're going to go to the mastermind. And one of the things that I'm going to say to people, because of course we're going to hear limiting beliefs. And I love when people share limiting beliefs. And I want this to be a safe space for us to continue to be able to share limiting beliefs. But what I also want to invite everybody to do is be so aware and conscious of how you're talking about yourself. Because so often, and Julie, I'm sure you can relate to this, you've either seen it or done it, we talk so highly of other people. We're so inspired and motivated by other people's stories. But when it comes time to talk about us, we've got nothing positive to say. And it's time that we have to start being inspired by our own story. And so, Julie, as you've started to share your story out on the internet and be more brave and be courageous enough to create content and share your message, have you been surprised and inspired and had boosts of confidence as people have responded positively to your content? And have you been also reminded by something that I say all the time, which is it's easier to make a client a friend than a friend a client. So oftentimes we can get a better response from cold strangers out there from our content than people who, you know, are close to us in our lives. Has that been a confidence boost for you when people have started to respond positively to your content?
For me personally, I keep like a pretty small circle. So I don't keep relationships in my life that don't serve me. So, when I started this journey, I was pretty private. I like family events, you know, I would say it randomly, but you know, they just don't understand. They're supportive and encourage me, but they just don't get it. But the cool thing about it too is my brother started doing it too. So when he talks about it, I'm just like, I let him talk about it. But yes, I have to say it has been a major confidence boost just because the community, like in itself, is just so supportive. And yeah, I'm loving my journey. I really feel like I am where I'm supposed to be after trying all of the things I've tried. Really, nothing was sticking. But I don't regret anything because those things along the way have pushed me and allowed me to gain the transitional skills I needed to be where I needed to be. But like I said, I really needed to gain the confidence. Like I said, you don't wake up with the confidence. It has to be established. Not everyone's Brad Pitt.
Yeah, for sure. You had, I believe, you had, if I read that correctly, you had a video go viral on
Yeah.
Facebook
Mhm.
that hit almost 2 million views and gained you 32,000 followers. Uh, I don't know if we have your Facebook up or not, but talk to us about that experience. What did you learn from it, and how did that change things for you? We oftentimes say that you're only one video away from changing your whole entire life. It's not. It doesn't even have to be a funnel. It doesn't even have to be I mean, it's just one simple, silly, stinking little video. What did you learn from that? Was it a video that you planned to go viral? Was it one of those things to where it was the most least likely video that you ever thought would go viral? I mean, what did you learn from the experience, and how did that change things for you?
And I'm so glad that you brought that up because it was just such a random video. I was not expecting it at all. Usually when I show up on camera, you're talking about confidence. So, I'd put a little bit of makeup on and make sure my hair's done. I don't go over the top, but with this particular video that went viral, it's funny because I remember I think I had a long day and then I came home and I didn't have content for the next day. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna quickly do some videos. And I was like, I needed to wash my hair. So I just put my hair up in a bun. And I never ever do that. So when I created my video, my hair was in a bun. And the next day I saw that it was going viral. And I'm like, dang, out of all the videos I see going viral, I have my hair up and I look like the worst. But yeah, it was definitely not a video that I was expecting to go viral at all. I didn't, say, oh yeah, this is the one. And with going into digital marketing with your limiting beliefs, you see all these videos going viral and these people talking about it, and you're like, that'll never happen to me, and it did happen. And it's wild that started going viral. I think it was like a day or two before is when I really wanted to start seeing shifts happening. So I was like, what do I got to do? Because I'm not seeing much movement. So it was before bed. I literally like put my palms up and I was like in receiving position. And I'm just like, universe, just let me know if I'm on the right path. Give me something here. I just need an extra push. I was posting 3 times a day, every day, and I just wasn't seeing much traction. And then after I did that, I think it was the next day where I started seeing I was getting more followers. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. But I didn't think that it was from a video. That's when I kind of went in. I'm like, hey, there must be something going on with my videos. And then I saw it, my video that did hit 2 million views, it was at 20K. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then more followers. And I kept watching it. It kept going up and up and up, and I was getting more comments and more comments. And I was like, cool. It was a really cool experience and like humbling experience for me to see that happening. Because like I said, like you don't think that's going to happen to you. And it's like the most random video. So yeah, it's still pretty cool to say and talk about.
I think that this has been a common theme on many Wake Up Legendaries, and it's also been a common theme in my business over the years as well, is that the content, the videos, the emails, the ones that you do that you're just flowing naturally and you least expect to go and make a huge impact are the ones that do. And that is why it's so important to get in a flow state of just creating every single day. For example, Wake Up Legendary. I mean, I've now done 820 episodes here, and that's a lot of consistency. That's a lot of action. Thank you. That's a lot of action taking that has allowed me to get into a flow state to where I pretty much don't have to think and plan or overthink. As you saw from me coming on at the beginning of the episode, I didn't need you to get ready for me to get ready for you to, prep and script and, here's what we're going to do and here's what we're going to say.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, let's go, let's flow, let's do it. And let's see what happens. And it always happens perfectly, exactly as it's supposed to happen. And it's always great because I've trained myself to sort of be in a natural flow state of not overthinking things. And when I'm not overthinking things, I'm coming off natural. I'm external. I'm not in my head. And as your boy Tony Robbins says, who you have the book right there next to you, if you're in your head, you're dead. If you're in your head, you're dead. There he is. That's an old book too. Those principles are very evergreen and timeless. But one of the things he says, if you're in your head, you're dead. Let me keep saying, if you're in your head, you're dead. If you're in your head, you're dead. What does that mean to me? Well, it means that if I'm overthinking things, if I'm thinking that I need to prep and, look a certain way, part my hair a certain way, have a certain, outfit on and be changed. I used to have this limiting belief that I had to have a different outfit on in every video. That was a limiting belief. What I realize now from doing 820 Wake Up Legendary episodes in the same shirt. The same shirt, friends. Many times it's just I've got a tank top on and I just am like, shit, I don't want to go up to the third floor to get a shirt, and I just look around. I might even grab one out of the dirty clothes hamper. Who cares? Nobody knows. It's not that stinky. I mean, if I pick it up and it's like, whoa, must have worked out in that one, I might put it back. But nobody cares. It was a limiting belief that I had. I used to think that I needed to be perfect in videos. No oohs, no ahs, no ums. Now I go live and I'm blowing my nose over here. I'm throwing shit. It's just, nobody cares. As long as what you're delivering is valuable, meaning that it's either educational or entertaining. That's the definition of value. Nobody cares. And I love your story of just the fact that, you had your hair in a bun and you never do that. And it went viral because you were naturally in a state of flow and not overthinking it. You weren't in your head. You were just external. And when we're in our head, we're thinking about others. When we're external and we're not in our head, when we're in our head, we're thinking about ourselves. Excuse me. And when we're external, not in our head, but we're external, we're thinking about others. We're focused on others, what is outside of us. When we're in our head, we're thinking about us. We're being self-absorbed. We're being obsessed with how we look or how we sound, all the things. And so, man, thank you for sharing that and reminding us that going viral or having success in content, videos, anything that you're doing has absolutely most of the time nothing with the big production. This is not TV. I've got a big TV production that's happening down my street right now for a show called Rock the Block. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of that show on HGTV. I guess it's in its fifth season. I'd never heard of it before, but they've got to take a whole entire 4 houses actually, and they're designing them, and it's a competition, I guess, with multiple different designers, and they're going to take that entire whole, design process that's probably taking months and months and months, and it truly is because I'm driving by there every day, and it's a construction site, but they're filming, and they're going to edit that down to a 1-hour episode. Well, friends, that's not the business that you're in. That's not the business that you're in. That's a completely different content business model. And so being somebody who has been a model and has, gotten ready, I would assume, for most situations in your life, talk to us a little bit about how you are embracing what has helped you to be successful in some of your most successful videos. How are you embracing that even more, both externally by maybe not getting as ready or putting it as much of an emphasis on, being made up and so forth? And what are some of the things that you're, how is that how is that something that you're overcoming? Is that has that been a limiting belief for you as well? I mean, can you relate to me saying that thinking that I need to have a different shirt on in every video was a limiting belief? I mean, do you identify with that in a sense, in the fact that we always need to look different and fresh and have a different outfit on every time somebody sees us?
Right, absolutely. So I feel like it was a big transitional period for me where, yes, taking photos, you're done up and everything. So it kind of made me realize that for these videos, people like authenticity for reels. And it just goes to show, with my hair being in a bun and not being totally, how I usually look in videos, that's how, like, you shouldn't have to worry so much about what you look. And it made me realize that. So like you say, test things out. So, I would have things perfectly in place, everything set up, have a new shirt on, and that video would flop, as opposed to when I kind of go in and just having more fun with it, and then having kind of stuff on the floor, if you have kids or something like that, stuff on the floor, people just like that, like, you are living, like, it's a lifestyle, like, you have everything everywhere. Not everything is perfect and put into place. Like you're saying, it's not HGTV. So, it's you just living your life, and then you just so happen to just pop up a tripod and your phone, and film, and people like that. And that's what I've realized.
Julie, what have you learned about yourself in this journey? What have you been reminded about yourself that either you've realized exists within you, it has existed within you the whole time, you needed to be reminded about it, or you've discovered something new and powerful about yourself during this process?
So, what I learned is I've really had to have tunnel vision. So, as you call it, comparisonitis. I didn't know that was a thing before I started, to where I was following other affiliates and digital marketers and so on. And while I want to come from a place and being happy for them when they post income claims, and I post income claims myself, which is fine and dandy. But if you're at a place where you're starting out, maybe when you pop open your phone on Instagram, that's not the best thing for you to see for your mentality. So instead of unfollowing, I learned I had to just mute posts, and then just kind of have tunnel vision for myself, focus on what I'm doing, and move with more strategy than emotion. How many hat slams did I get today?
Talking, I'm just reacting.
What else do I have to say? So again, it's about just showing up every day that you've made 20,000 this month. People don't know that you haven't. Don't lie and say that you have, but just show up of that version of yourself that you want to be, because being abundant is our birthright. I don't think people know that. So stop with the scarcity mindset. That's what I had to learn. We grow up, our parents say, we've heard it before, money doesn't grow on trees, or we can't afford that. That is actually a limiting belief that is instilled in you when you're younger, and you carry that on into adulthood and you have the same beliefs. But that's not true. Change your inner dialogue. There's more than enough money to go around. Nothing is saturated. You know how many people there are on social media?
Yeah. I something that you said really struck me so much, and it was obviously everything you've said has been wonderful and powerful.
Thank
Really
you.
refreshing and inspiring. The muting of people and the unfollowing or whatever. I mean, I think you just more said, hey, I just need to mute people and be focused on my own strategy. I think for all of us, friends, it would behoove, or many of you, especially if you're feeling like you're overwhelmed, struggling, confused, the reason why you are probably feeling like that is exactly what Julie just said. Julie just gave you a prescription for that. She just literally got out her prescription pad and wrote it in such clear detail. I personally, myself, may need to go back and re-listen to that, but I highly invite all of you who are feeling confused and overwhelmed to really lean in and listen even to me here reiterate what she just said. And you confirm that what I'm saying here is correct, because I asked you what you've learned about yourself. And you said that sometimes I really need to just mute other people. I need to mute them. I need to hone in on my strategy. What am I doing? I don't need to go start another thing. I don't need to add another thing. If I'm not succeeding with one thing, I'm not going to succeed with another absolutely very similar thing. Okay. And this is one of the things that I think has been a real challenge for a lot of people in this business, in this industry for a very long time, is that, well, maybe it's not really me. Maybe it's just the thing that I'm selling. And the truth is that if it is you, and that's a tough pill to swallow sometimes. I've had to swallow that pill as well many, many times. And it's difficult, but it is me. It was me. It was me who needed to boost my confidence. If I didn't have confidence and I wasn't creating compelling content for one product I was selling, another similar product was not going to be the answer to my problems. If I was following one guru and I wasn't taking any action and I was only in learning mode, going and finding another guru was not the answer to my problems. If I wasn't taking action following one mentor or guru or coach or whatever the hell you want to call them, somebody, that's like being in a relationship and saying, I'm not happy because I'm with this person. That people don't make us happy. We make ourselves happy. And then we either realize that somebody compliments us and lifts us up and supports our happiness, or that we are not willing to put up with the way that that person acts or treats us. And then we set boundaries. But people don't complete us. People don't make us happy. Nobody has that much power. We have all the power right there within us. It's crazy to really realize.
If people just knew how powerful they actually are.
Yeah. So the what you said a moment ago with that you learned that you needed to mute people and you needed to tap into your own voice, into your own story, into your own limiting beliefs, that you needed to overcome those and address those. That it wasn't something outside of yourself, or it wasn't following a new person or copying what somebody else was doing, or maybe I'm going to do what they do because no. It doesn't matter how many different people that you try to be like, follow. It's not going to change until you look at yourself in the mirror and say, I got this, I can do this, and I'm going to act as if I'm already successful. And you put it very clearly, act as if I'm making $20,000 a month. It's an attitude, it's a vibe, it's an energy, it's a belief in yourself. And I'm going to say it very plainly here for those who are still not picking up what I'm putting down. We are on video. We are using video as the primary source of marketing. And if you lack confidence, if you are being inauthentic, if you are not being yourself, if you are not being natural, if you are not projecting self-esteem and confidence and like you know where you're going and what you're doing, and it doesn't matter if people follow you or not, or buy what you're selling or not, or watch your content or not, you're still going to be moving in that direction because you believe in it and you have a vision for it. People are not going to listen. They're just not. And they can sense when you're copying and watching other people. And that's why I really invite everybody so intensely and passionately to change the self-talk in the declaring out loud that you're missing something. No, you're not. And don't say it anymore. Stop saying it. Because you're only reiterating to your own brain, which is making you more vulnerable for more guru and the guru gauntlet out there, as I call it. More vulnerable for more gurus and goblins to, sell you something new when the truth is you don't need anything new right now. What you need is to follow through with what you got. Follow through with what you got and stop watching other people. Stop getting into comparisonitis. Stop trying to do what other people are doing. One of my favorite stories about my journey with this, I told it earlier this week, was when I had the same imposter syndrome that we all struggle with. And I came online as a former homeless drug addict. At this time, I was about a year and a half clean back in 2010. And I'm having the same imposter syndrome that we all struggle with. So I found this guy that was successful, who combed his hair and parted his hair a certain way and always had a collared shirt. And I didn't really comb my hair like that or wear collared shirts and stuff. I was a blue collar construction guy, but I was like, maybe that's what I need to do. I'm going to comb and part my hair just like this guy. And I'm going to wear a freaking collared shirt just like this guy and tuck it in and try to talk like him and all this stuff. And I'm telling you something, I felt like an ass. And I just didn't feel natural. It wasn't me. And so when it wasn't me, I wasn't coming across with that confidence and that vision and that natural authenticity. We have to learn to get comfortable in our own skin, friends. It's the only skin you got. You're not getting another skin. And no matter what I heard somebody vulnerably or read somebody vulnerably say something about something on your body or on your face or a scar or something like that. Friends, first of all, thank you for sharing those things with us and allowing us to know what you're thinking and feeling. And I want to remind you that who you are and what you have on your body, inside your body, how you look, how you talk, how you sound is dadgum unique. It makes you unique, and it makes you even more cool if you accept you for who you are. That's the coolest thing that anybody can see is when somebody is, I think that's why DJ Khaled is so popular and why he became so explosive on social media, because here he's this, fairly obese man. He's a big boy, but he'll rip that dadgum shirt off and shake those man boobs around and that belly and just get it done. And we all love him. We all love it. We say, look at this son of a bitch living his life, being happy, making money because he's projecting confidence and he's just in love with himself. So we have to love ourselves, but not get stuck in our own head. Love our bodies, but don't be obsessed by hanging out in this up here. It's a bad neighborhood up here, friends. Use the buddy system. I don't go up here alone. I don't hang out up here alone. This is a bad neighborhood between this 6 inches of my head right here. I use the buddy system only. I don't hang out in here too much.
What's the buddy system?
Well, going in with somebody else. If I'm going to analyze my own thoughts and I'm going to, want to hang out in my head, then I'm going to bring a friend. Maybe that's a therapist. Maybe that's a very something like that. I'm not going to go because you know what? When I start to with a safe person who can actually help me process my thoughts and thinking, and I say the things that I'm thinking out loud to a safe professional person who knows what they're doing, oftentimes I realize how crazy and, how much I'm putting myself down or I'm limiting myself. And so one of the easiest ways to stop that is what you said and why we talk about comparisonitis so much, because when we're watching everybody else and what they're doing and we're comparing ourselves to them being better and us not being as good, it automatically by default makes us feel worse about ourselves. And so going back to what you said about what you've learned, you have learned that you need to I think you even said this, put the blinders on. Did you not?
I don't think I mentioned that exactly, but along the lines.
The focus, right?
Yes.
Really.
Yeah. Tunnel vision.
Tunnel vision was what you said. Exactly. You're sparking a lot of rants in me this morning, Julie.
It's good. We're fired up.
Fired up. What it will end it with this. If you were to go back and start over, knowing what you know now, if you could sit next to yourself and be your own guide and best friend, what advice would you give to yourself?
I would tell myself to give myself grace and be kind to myself, because some thoughts can be so intrusive and then you don't even realize it. You're in the shower, you're like shaving and you're just telling yourself, I have to make a video today. Well, it's not going to get reach, not going to get any likes, and then it's got to the point where it's like, hey, why do I talk to myself like that? And then as soon as I made those shifts, that's when everything changed. So if I were to go back, Yeah, I would just tell myself to give myself grace and be kinder to myself.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Give yourself more grace. Be kinder to yourself. God bless America and Canada.
Canada.
All right, Julie, it's been a real pleasure. Really, it's been a beautiful conversation this morning. Very empowering, very enlightening, very inspirational. I've been reminded of some powerful things myself, and I love to get fed here myself. It's one of the reasons why I do this. I think that we realize that we're getting something from creating content and serving people as well. We ultimately are the ones who get the major payoff because we're building confidence and we're getting fed and we're getting inspired. And that's exactly what you've done for me this morning. So thank you so much. And please come back and see me and keep us posted and updated on your journey here in the near future.
Absolutely. It was so nice to meet you. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, Julie. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
Stay legendary, my dear friend.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, you can follow and find and support and listen and learn, but don't compare to Julie over at Julie.the_affiliate over on Instagram. You can find her there, Julie.the_affiliate, and that's JULIE.the_affiliate. My good friends, my dear friends, wow, I'm fired up. I get a little ranty. I get a little fired up, start throwing things. It's just the nature of the beast, and it's the nature of me as I've over the years become more inspired by both my own journey and what I've overcome, but also listening to what other people are doing to overcome their limiting beliefs, to overcome their internal challenges. Julie was so honest this morning and so transparent and so authentic in the way that she shared things that just people don't talk about in normal society. I mean, tell me the last time you walked into corporate America or corporate Canada or corporate anywhere and heard, people actually having really real conversations like this about the exact things that really hold people back, which is oftentimes not the strategy. The strategy is something that can be done. It's you pushing through the frustration of the strategy, right? And there is frustration with every strategy. There's frustration anytime you're trying to execute anything worth doing. And so continue to lean in on that. Continue to lean in to push through, not around, because you're not going to get around them. You're not going to get over them. People say, get over it. Well, there is no getting over it. That only makes it worse. You must get through it. And when you get through it, you will be a person that you did not know existed within you. And it's not somebody else who completed you. It's not a guru who you hired or found and you finally touched the thread of their robe and stone tablets came down from a parted sky and delivered some message of wisdom to you. It's that you realize that what you needed all along was already within you and you had it all along. And that you just needed to release and unleash that inner badass that has been lying dormant because of the way that society sort of beats us down. And oftentimes friends and family, we adopt their limiting beliefs into our heads and hearts. And so I'm just inspired, of course, thankful as we go into a mastermind weekend. I can't wait to see everybody in Orlando who's coming. If you can't make it, no problem. We look forward to potentially seeing you at a future mastermind and make today legendary. Make it a defining moment in your journey. Do something that's powerful for yourself and take some action that's going to boost your confidence and remind you that you can do this, that you're worthy and that you deserve it. All right, my friends, get out of here. Have a fantastic day. Stay legendary. Peace.